Good morning, everybody. Happy 10 a.m. tea time with Natalie. I hope you're having a wonderful day and happy afternoon if you're watching a little bit further east. Today, I am tuning in to talk to you guys about making big decisions. And there's a lot of times in life where we really feel like we don't know what the right move is, the best step. We spin our wheels thinking and rethinking and thinking again. And a lot of times we reach some difficulty getting our head and our heart to kind of get on the same page. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about how to work through that sort of a roadblock and how to, be able to have the confidence to make those decisions that might, improve the rest of your life. So my biggest piece of advice there is to really follow your heart over following your mind. Your brain is really great with, balancing your checkbook and coming up with, directions to get to, the park or whatever you're trying to do. But the brain isn't always our best resource when it comes to, living with the decisions that we make. And our hearts have a lot to do with that. So definitely when you're making big decisions and your heart and head don't agree, I'm really recommending to follow your heart over your head. Mel Robbins is kind of a queen of mine. You may have seen her video about the impact theory and counting backwards from 5 and how that can really help you kind of beat your automatic thinking and kind of beat your own brain into getting out of your own way. And she talks a lot about inner wisdom and using your inner wisdom as your guide in regards to making decisions. And so it's really about what you know at a soul level. And for me, the inner wisdom piece is really something that keeps kind of coming up again and again. You keep kind of coming into the same feeling, or you keep kind of hitting the same roadblock over and over. And that really can be a sign that you're supposed to be taking a step in another direction, making a change in another direction and, potentially, doing a 180 with your life, possibly, depending on what's going on. For me, that was my experience when I was working in the lab. I got my bachelor's degree in clinical laboratory science in the early 2000s. And I chose laboratory science actually after September 11th. I kind of felt this need to pick a career that I felt would be really stable and consistent and safe kind of in that time. So I made this decision to go into healthcare because I thought, well, that is something that people are always going to need, right? And so I moved forward in the laboratory. I kept kind of changing hospitals, changing roles. I really wasn't finding a good fit for me. The further I went along on the management cascade, the further I kind of got away from what I even wanted to be doing, which was, taking care of patients. Pushing papers is not taking care of patients in my heart. So I really was feeling unfulfilled in a lot of ways, and I kept kind of running into this feeling like you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be here. But I would, push it away and push it away and push it away until the circumstances finally reached a point where, I was feeling incredibly unfulfilled. I was feeling really misunderstood by the leadership that, I was working under. And finally, I just snapped. Like, they said I was insubordinate. I said, in 6 months, I'm out of here. And, that kind of manifested into my acupuncture career, actually. So, there was also, the issue in 2008 with the economy crashing and the drop in, your employer contribution to your IRA and retirement and different things and your benefits changing. So I really also at that time realized that it wasn't necessarily going to be that safe space that I felt like I was, finding when I was still in school. And, that really made me believe if I'm going to, I have to plan for my future. Whose shoulders am I going to put that on? Am I going to trust this corporation to have my best interest at heart, or am I going to trust myself to have my best interest at heart? And so, I was keep, not feeling fulfilled in the career, not getting along with my management, not, feeling like the things I was promised were actually going to be able to be delivered. And so finally in 2010, I decided to go to acupuncture school. And so for me, it was, continuing to hit this roadblock of like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing something else. I know that this isn't fulfilling. This isn't what I want to do, over and over and over again. I did that for 5 years. Like, sometimes you have to be beaten about the head a little bit in order to finally get that thing to sink in. But, your heart is having a calling. You need to answer that. It isn't going to go away just because you're pushing it aside. And, if now isn't the right time to manifest it, that may be the case, but it's, it will keep coming up until it is. It's one of those things where you kind of can't fight it. So I definitely recommend, honoring your heart there. I have never had that feeling again of this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing since I went to acupuncture school. And so, I feel a different kind of level of confidence with myself having made that choice and taken that step. Another thing to consider really when you are facing big decisions is, what is the global outcome for what you're doing? Okay. Is it expanding you as a person? Is it making you bigger and brighter and smarter? Is it going to, help you grow and develop into your maximum potential? Is it something that is going to improve your future? Good morning, Monica. Thanks for tuning in today. Is it something that is going to, increase the possibilities in your life? If you make this choice and you take that step, is everything going to open up for you? Is there a great potential for that to happen? Or is making that decision something that's going to silence you? Is making that decision something that's going to make you kind of pull away and hide into yourself? If that is kind of the toss-up that you're making, clearly the decision that's going to expand you, clearly the decision that's going to increase your happy, positive feelings about the future is going to be the right choice to make there. So, it kind of seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes we need to be reminded about the things that we already know so that we have that confidence when we're on the fence to make that decision that could be sort of everything there. Let's see what other notes I have here. Also, it's really important to consider short-term versus long-term when we're talking about the benefits and the hard choices that we're going to have to make in regards to, the global big picture of this, giant decision. So short term is often really, really hard choices. Okay. This is the leaving things, the quitting things, the moving, the starting over. These are really, really hard things to kind of swallow. These are like the highest level stresses that people go through in life. And, they're also safe. And so as organisms programmed to avoid pain and difficulty, we tend to keep repeating crappy stuff that's safe even at our own expense. So please don't let hard first steps block you from the greater, bigger picture, which is living your truth and living your best life and reaching your potential. It's also really, really important to be surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. When you are making this kind of a level of decision in your life, you are considering a lot of stuff. It is not like you are just flipping a switch and just, whimsically flying through things. If you've thought stuff through, considered the pros and cons, considered all that it will cost you to get that stuff done, and you make that decision, you deserve to be supported. You are doing the steps that are needed to be taken in order to make a good quality decision with a high likelihood of success, right? Because you considered all that stuff. Don't let people make you second guess your decisions, after you've poured through that. You can't keep reliving the same decision-making process over and over again. You're never going to get progress in your life. And you deserve to be able to have the confidence to make a decision and not have to question it forever, right? So it's super important to be surrounding yourself with people that are supporting these big decisions. And if they are going to be pointing out negative aspects, it needs to be constructive. It needs to be something that's going to prevent potentially an obstacle from happening, prevent a pitfall, preventing, you from being able to get to where you want to go, helping you improve, helping you get there faster. If people are not being constructive, then they're just being destructive. And destructive is really insidious because it doesn't necessarily cut us off, from our obstacle, like with putting a fence there or putting a wall up. It causes us to block ourselves. That is what the destructive aspect is. So when you're around those negative people, it's damaging your confidence. Even if it's 1% over the course of day after day after day adds up to a lot. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. It's kind of that old saying. So it's super important not to be having people just eroding away at, the things that you're trying to do to make your life better. It's also going to create problems with your motivation and your momentum. You finally start to get in the groove and they're just like throwing negative crap at you. And then you're having to like defend yourself. It's getting you out of your groove. And, that's actually creating more obstacles for you. It's hard enough to make decisions and live life and try to do the right thing for as many people as you can without getting in your own way, without other people getting in your head and causing you to not be able to move forward with the good decisions that you're trying to make for yourself. And so if you call someone toxic, cut them out of your life. If you are making that kind of a statement about someone, there is something seriously fucking wrong with your relationship with that person. It is not like regular people don't throw that word around. So if you're throwing toxic out there, there's something going on in that situation. You should cut it out of your life, okay? If you're worried about being a bitch and hurting, because you're trying to get your goals and your dreams accomplished, that's ridiculous. That's not a reason to hold back from being yourself because you're afraid someone else is going to think you're a bitch and, for you taking control of your own life. Those are not people that are helping you reach your goals and potential. Okay, so you shouldn't be dealing with them. Deal with people that want you to be happy. Deal with people that want you to succeed. Deal with people that are focused on the same things that you are. Because that's going to help you reach all that stuff that you are, yearning for and climbing for right now. So hopefully that is helpful in how I make decisions and what I think about when I'm sort of working through that process. If you have worked on some hard decisions or if you're working on some stuff, please comment below. We can all support each other through these experiences. And if you have any tips or ideas for what you do when you're weighing the pros and cons of things and trying to, potentially make a decision that's going to change and alter the rest of your life, what are you doing? What are you thinking? How are you not freaking out? How do you get your confidence back when other people kind of get in the way? Because all that stuff is super important and we can all learn from each other. So hopefully you are on the path to success. Remember to drink lots of water today. Be good to yourself. Give yourself lots of nutrition and, vitamins and all that good stuff that you're supposed to do. And we'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Tea with Natalie. Have a fantastic day. Take care.